Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by the Guild. I am Tom Downey. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more Cowboys coverage. And naturally, we start things off today with David Irving's suspension because, well, once again, he has found himself in trouble. So Irving was suspended by the NFL for 4 games on Friday. Irving has already appealed, and he was denied. So the Cowboys and Irving have known this was going to be an issue for at least a couple of weeks now. Again, what happened was not that David Irving failed a drug test. It was that David Irving didn't take any of the drug tests, and Internet Rapport said it was multiple ones that he had missed. It's just another incident in what has been a very troubling and difficult offseason for David Irving. Was reportedly overweight during OTAs and minicamp as well. Had to just run on the side there, even coached a couple times during the final minicamps. Had to deal with false domestic violence accusations this offseason. And now the Cowboys are in a bit of a rough shape at defensive tackle. David Irving is their top guy, an immensely talented player. When he's on the field, of course, there's always been something else going on with Irving. Last year, he was suspended for 4 games for PEDs. Then he had the concussion. Now he's suspended again for 4 games to start this year. Malik Collins is banged up, and the Cowboys' defensive depth chart overall right now, it's pretty bad. It's a very thin unit overall. And for David Irving, it just seems like he doesn't get it yet. And I get that David Irving has had a lot going on this offseason, and you feel for him as a person. And David Irving has made it clear that, you know, he wants to be there for his daughter. He wants to be a better father, and you absolutely respect that. Here, of course, today is Father's Day, so you get that for David Irving. But it's not an either-or situation for Irving. And he was upset that the Cowboys said he was overweight. He blamed the media for not accurately reporting why he had everything going on this offseason. And at the same time for David Irving, if you want to be the best father for your daughter, the best thing you can do is to be the best damn football player too. So I don't think that David Irving gets it yet, and I hope that at some point soon he figures it out because there is so much talent there. David Irving could be one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL if he ever puts it all together for multiple seasons in a row. But with yet another suspension, it's tough to trust him at all. And that brings us to our next news item here. Sean Lee, who this is very much, I think, out of character for Lee. He went out and criticized David Irving. We'll get to that audio here in just a second, but Lee criticized Irving before the suspension news even came out. Said he has got to show the commitment, has to be at the facility more often. It's very rare for Sean Lee to publicly comment about a teammate in a negative fashion, but here's what Sean Lee said about David Irving.
Shared sacrifice, all of us working together as a team is a big deal for all of us. He needs to be here on a more consistent basis. He needs to be working more with us.
Is that something that you personally have told him, help him understand shared sacrifice? For
yeah, well, you know, I've talked with him, and I think we've expressed it with him, and he needs to get here. He needs to be here working with us. He can be a huge part of this team if he wants to be, but he's got to show that commitment.
Was it frustrating that he was sporadic early on this offseason?
Well, we want to have everybody here. I mean, I know it's voluntary, but we want guys here working together and improving as a team.
So Sean Lee really did not hold back about his comments with David Irving. And one more note here on David Irving before we get into a little reaction poll here for you guys, or Wayne, excuse me. The day before Irving was announced, the suspension was announced for Irving, he said, "I have a lot of issues I've been dealing with. Just know it's behind me. By the time the season starts, I won't be dealing with any of this BS anymore." And yet, David Irving the very next day gets suspended by the NFL. So I want to know from you guys watching, how do you feel about David Irving's suspension? Are you still frustrated? Are you disappointed? Are you angry? Or are you just tired of it overall? I saw quite a few comments. It's another year where a Cowboys starter is going to be suspended on defense. At a certain point, it does get a little bothersome. So let me know, folks, in the comments section. All right, folks, now, once again, a reminder that today's show is brought to you by The Guild. Visit stayguild.com for 15% off your next stay. Kind of like a luxury Airbnb. Visit stayguild.com for 15% off your next stay. One more news item here for you. That's that Xavier Woods is ignoring all of the Earl Thomas Trade talk. Exactly what you want to hear from a promising young safety in Xavier Woods. He said that, yeah, he's heard about the Earl Thomas Trade talk, but Xavier Woods said in the end, quote, "I just block it out. I've learned this is a business at the end of the day. The job is based on yourself. You have to be irreplaceable. It's all on you." And I think that's the perfect mindset for Xavier Woods. He wants to give Dallas a reason to not even want Earl Thomas. And if he wows at training camp and he wows in the preseason, that I think will help calm down the Earl Thomas trade talk. But folks, let me know in the comments section, should the Cowboys trade Earl Thomas? Give me a heart for a yes and a wow face for a no.